Fascinating conversation today as we speak to Matt. Now, he's a vet and he's still on the tools. And there's a side hustle. He runs a £2 million business sending pets around the world. Imagine this, you live in Hong Kong and now you're going to move to Dubai and you've got a dog and you want that dog to come with you. You need someone like Matt to move that dog around for you. It's a successful business and he wants to take it to the next level. Unfortunately, he's working on the tools a little bit too much. He's not building that commercially profitable enterprise. We want to help him do that. Now, this video is brought to you by Revolut Business. If you're taking payments in person or online, this could make things way smoother. And there's a £200 bonus on the table too. I'll explain more about that later. Let's get to it. Welcome back to the Business Broadcast. I'm James Sinclair.
I'm James Burt. Hi there. Thank you for tuning in.
I'm doing very well on Instagram.
That's good. Nobody asked.
You can follow me, James Sinclair Entrepreneur.
Oh, here it goes.
If you'd like to follow James Burt, where'd you go?
Just James Burt Official.
There you go, baby.
You got your branded thing. You're having to cycle through uniforms now, aren't you? Because otherwise there's like internal battles about why have you not worn a Cafe Deli apron?
Yeah, well, absolutely. But there's something I'd just like to point out.
Have you had that in there the whole time?
There's something I'd like to point out.
If you're only listening to this, go onto YouTube to what? Have you literally been sitting with that the whole time?
Yeah, I bought this back from China, and I've just come back from Hong Kong. I bought this in Hong Kong.
Oh, did
where
you?
I guess today it's coming from.
There you go. It all goes full circle.
And I was in Hong Kong 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. I always like to do my China trip and finish in Hong Kong to get a nice Western meal.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I did. And then I go in all the Hong Kong tour shops and look for inspiration.
And you found that?
I found that.
Time well spent.
And I guess today, Matt Murdoch.
Dr. Matthew Murdoch to you, Sinclair.
Dr. Matthew Murdoch. He's a qualified vet.
He is indeed, yes.
And now he moves pets around the world.
He does, and he does very, very well at it as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I asked him how much it costs to move a pet, say from Hong Kong to Dubai, just to give us some context.
Just to give us a rough idea. It didn't need to be very specific, did it? Just a rough idea.
It's around £4,000, and I think you'd be barking mad to know that.
Let's count the number of dog puns. That's two. We've got two in early doors.
We always do that when there's a doggy thing on this show, don't we?
Two. Yeah, because we like it. We like a rubbish joke.
£4,000, that's a lot of money, isn't it?
That is a lot of money.
Well,
but they're a part of the family, aren't they?
Oh,
you reckon?
are.
I'm like, I'd leave it at home, but...
And also talking to Matt, he says he listens
Dr. Matthew.
Dr. Matthew. He says he listens to us whilst running around Hong Kong. Now, let me tell you something, JB. You've never been to Hong Kong.
It's like he's getting a sweat on at the same time then.
Yeah. If anyone's ever been to that big conservatory in Kew Gardens, that's Hong Kong, ladies and gentlemen.
The whole time?
It is. China's hot, right, usually. So I spend a lot of time in China. And I don't know what happens. Like, you just follow this magical line. So China obviously borders part of Hong Kong and Hong Kong is part China sort of thing. One country, two systems. That's how they call it. We'll go into that another day.
Oh, do they? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So like Macau as well used to be run by Portugal.
Right.
Which is the sort of Las Vegas of Asia.
Yeah.
Or so they say. Which actually is a carbon copy of Las Vegas in many ways.
Yes. Big gambling.
Well, yeah, they have
casino.
like the Venetian Hong Kong.
Oh, do they really?
The Venetian Macau, the Venetian Las Vegas. But that used to be a Portuguese territory. We used to own Hong Kong.
Right.
We had a 99-year lease on it as the Great British Government. Then Prince Charles gave it back.
We had a lease on it?
Yeah, we gave it back in 1999 under Tony Blair.
We had like a lease option.
We leased it from China.
We had the right but not the obligation to buy it. We said, no thanks, we're all right. We'll hand it back.
It's most strange because they drive on the same side of the road as us. They have the same 3-pin plug as us. There's double-decker buses there.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it has been
how bizarre.
Westernized. And if you go to Hong Kong compared to a Chinese city,
yeah, very
different. You know,
so it's a good place to, after your China trip, to come back and decompress, to get back to UK mode on the way home.
Yeah, sort of on the way. Because I like to fly British Airways back or Virgin.
Of course,
Virgin don't fly from Hong Kong anymore. But Richard, if you're listening, because I know you're a big fan of the show, if you could sort that out, so we can fly Virgin.
I wonder if he is a fan of the show. You've met him, haven't you?
No, I've never met him. No.
Have you not met Branson?
No.
That is what I'm doing for your 40th birthday.
Yeah.
I'm arranging it.
Fine.
I'm arranging you and Branson, two icons of business. You can come as well. I'll be there.
But he listens to the podcast running.
Yes.
In Hong Kong, which I am really respect because it's a really sweaty place
and quite hilly as well, isn't it?
Is it hilly? Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah.
Is it very big? It's an island, isn't it? Hong Kong is an island.
It's a bloody busy place. I will tell you that for free. It is London busy.
Is it? Well, there you go. But he was originally from the UK. Dr. Matthew was originally from the UK, and then he expatted himself out to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And now, as you say, he is globally moving these pets all around the place, doing a lot of stuff moving into the UK. He's doing a lot of stuff moving to the UAE, as you'd kind of expect.
Yeah. He's moving basically high net worth expats or people earning
Pets of
good
expats,
money.
yeah.
Yeah, pets of expats.
Posh people's pets. He could have that as the PPP.
One thing that you do notice if you've never been to Hong Kong, and for those that do know Hong Kong, it is a city with energy. That I will say.
I've heard that. Who else was it? Simon Squibb, who spoke at your last BMC
Yeah,
event.
yeah,
he
did that
had an
didn't he?
agency and grew it out there, and he speaks very highly of the energy and the culture and the work ethic. It's almost like Dubai was Dubai.
Yeah, I think you could be there. You can get to Malaysia, Singapore, China, those sort of very evolving economies. You get to Japan quite quickly.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of business out there. And he is a customer of ours, which we found out. He's a customer of Camp Beaumont. He's in Camp Beaumont, Hong Kong. We're doing a lot of business in Hong Kong, a lot of business in Singapore, and a huge amount in Thailand and Malaysia as well.
Really? Are you finding it challenging doing that remote stuff because you're not physically
We had the MD of Asia in our office for 2 weeks. I mean,
but when you see like business development stuff is happening in Thailand and you haven't even maybe met those people and you haven't been to those locations.
We are in international schools. So we have probably, funny enough, Matt's customers are probably very akin to ours.
Yeah.
They're children or families in international schools that are travelling around the globe.
Yeah. Does it feel different though? Do you get the same buzz?
I have to say the opportunities in Asia are just great. I mean, me and Chuds were talking about this the other day. We was talking about Spotify and how big Spotify is coming for podcasting.
Yeah.
And we was sort of how they're sort of having Apple's breakfast, if you like. And me and Chuds were saying, when you really look at just India, there's more people in India than Europe and America combined.
Is there really?
Well, there's a billion people in.
I didn't realise that.
In India, there's 330 million in
the US.
The US, and I think there's about 370 million in Europe combined.
Wow.
So when you think about that, and that's just India.
Yeah.
We're not talking about China, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia.
Population of Europe is about 744 million.
Oh, I got that completely wrong. Well,
still made your point with terrible maths though.
It's about the same. So yeah, I mean India. So therefore, it's about the same. India and
America.
Sorry,
Europe and America.
Europe and America.
We'll get there.
Sort of similar to just India. Then you've got China on top and all the others. That's the point.
Does it feel different though? Does it feel?
I like doing business with Asian people. I think they're China, India. I think.
But are you as hands-on? I know you're not very hands-on with stuff anyway.
I'm hands-on about us expanding into the UAE at the moment. We're going to set up Camp Beaumont Teddy-tastic party pieces in the UAE, and we are well on the way to doing that. We had a team out there a couple of weeks ago. We do quite a bit of work for Atlantis at the Palm. We do all their interaction, do all the work at Atlantis at the Palm in their holiday clubs and customer service.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you're big in the game, aren't you?
We're big
International
in the game,
mogul. International mogul. But as I say, does it feel different running these things because you can't go and pop down on a Saturday and a Sunday? Because
it does feel different at first, and then you very much get used to it.
Do you? So international business mogul, that's your new thing now?
Innovation, marketing, culture, recruitment. They're the 4 things that business owners need to be working on. That we've got to go to the innovation economies, and the East is growing all the time. We're bringing our Western brand out there and marketing it strongly, and it's doing really well. So there's a really good culture out there. There's a lot of boxes ticked, and now we've got to recruit the best talent to set those teams up. So we've got our teams from the UK out there, very good people, led by Joff. Thanks, Joff.
There you go. Shout out to Joff. And which business does he work in?
He is head of Asia for Camp Beaumont.
For Camp Beaumont. And is that underneath the Into Action umbrella?
No, it's under so Camp Beaumont Group owns Camp Beaumont UK, Into Action, and Camp Beaumont Asia.
Oh, but Into Action and Camp Beaumont are linked. Those companies are linked.
They're all linked to this
linked.
gorgeous face you're talking to.
Great. If you're one of those members of staff, congratulations. Haven't you won the life lottery? Right, let's talk about Dr. Matthew's business, shall we?
Talk to us about it, James.
So he's been going just under 8 years. Estimated monthly revenue is 170,000. Is that Hong Kong dollars, UK pounds? You chat to him in the pre-chat chat.
He currency converted it for us. Oh. So that's GBP.
Okay.
Great British pounds.
Fantastic. He's got 10 members of staff.
About $1 million Hong Kong dollars, he said.
Okay, very nice. On a monthly basis?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
That's a lot of people moving pets around.
Yeah, I can imagine there is, especially at the moment. He must be doing very well in the UAE. Biggest challenges, he had some and he's updated them since.
Fine.
So I'm having to merge two things together at the same time. His biggest challenge is pet shipping and boarding profit. First half of the year, last 6 months of the year, none as suggested to balance stuff out. I don't get that. Pet shipping and boarding profit.
Go on, ask him. What does he mean?
Well, should we go through the challenges? Then we'll ask him all those things at the end. Second biggest challenge, scaling operations without compromising service quality. Low profit done for you model without add-ons or productized offers. Symptom, each client takes a lot of manual work and the service is high value but low leverage. Once the job is done, that's it. Okay, so he doesn't have that sort of repetitive monetization thing that you like in some of your models, but that's fine. Third biggest challenge is how not to be squashed in 5 years by tech platforms developing AI tools or VC companies with big pockets. This is always going to be like a trust business, though, isn't it? You're not going to give your dog to a robot.
If his average order value is £4,000, if you're spending £200 on clicks to get a £4,000, that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's my big problem with party pieces. I've said this on the pod before. We're spending £2-3 a click to get a £30-40 order.
Yeah.
If you've got high average order value, then you can pump it with ads, can't you?
Yeah. You can indeed.
And I imagine dog owners own dog owners and expat people know expat people.
Yeah.
And they probably highly recommend.
Good word of mouth business.
Yeah.
So maybe incentivizing that word of mouth even further. We'll find out later in the discussion. We asked Dr. Matthew, where do you want to be in 1 year's time? He said, a more automated and streamlined business with improved profitability. We said to him, what does the business look like when it's finished, Dr. Matthew? And he said, a self-sustaining, highly efficient business that operates smoothly with minimal day-to-day involvement from me. Do you make the profit that you want to make it? If so, what is it? We always ask our entrepreneurs that. And he said, not yet. I'm aiming for a higher and more predictable profit. At the moment, we do make between 100 and 200 grand profit per year. How do you spend your time day to day in the business? We always ask our entrepreneurs that. And he said, oversight, working on the marketing strategy and problem solving 4 days a week, operate, and then in another vet business mostly. 4 days a week, he's operating another vet business. So he's doing 200 grand a month, best part of part-time.
There you go.
Go on, Dr. Matthew.
Running a business already comes with enough challenges. Accepting payments shouldn't be one of them. That's why Revolut Business has introduced Tap to Pay on iPhone. Whether you're a pop-up, trade show or client meeting, you can accept contactless payments on the spot with no extra hardware needed. It's just one of the many ways Revolut Business helps modern businesses operate more efficiently, from automating your bill payments and integrating with Xero to streamlining expenses and global transfers. It's like having a financial ops assistant all in your pocket. And with over 20,000 new businesses joining every single month, it's clear they're doing something right. And that's why I use Revolut Business in my companies. If you're ready to control your business's finances, sign up to Revolut Business via the link in the video description or by scanning the QR code on screen before the 30th of June 2025. Add some money to your account and you'll receive a £200 welcome bonus. Subscription fees and T's and C's apply. It's for new business customers in the UK only. Thanks to Revolut Business for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it.
But before we get to all that stuff, there's a knock at the door.
There's a knock on the door.
It's time for interesting facts or quotes. The point of the show, first recording of the day, where James Sinclair normally dives for his phone, but he hasn't.
No.
Has he done some research today?
No, I've got nothing about dogs, but I found a fascinating fact.
Here comes a rubbish joke.
No, fascinating fact. What's the second largest seller of pizzas in the world?
The second largest seller of pizzas in the world.
This is a YouTube comment, so I'm hoping it's true. It was put onto one of my videos.
So I would have gone, naturally I'd have gone for like Domino's.
Domino's are meant to be number one.
Or
and I
Pizza Hut second.
So Domino's are the largest seller of pizzas in the world.
Or what, is it one of those brands we don't know so well here in the UK, like Little Nick's? There's like a one that looks like a Caesar.
Let's move over to Michael Chudley. Would you like to have a guess?
Michael Chudley.
I've started Googling it already just to make sure that what you do say is accurate.
Oh, fine.
Well, I've Googled it as well. Now, there are contradictions to what I Googled.
Wow. He's preempting his own quote
Yes.
here.
Sounds accurate.
But they are
Between
certainly,
AI and Google, he couldn't get the right answer. Great
no.
fact.
No, but certainly what I'm about to say is they are definitely in the top 5 largest sellers of pizzas. But what I'm going through is someone commented on one of the YouTube videos I checked, and I did find Yahoo Finance did back that point up. And it's Costco.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
They sell.
I thought it was going to be you lot. Are you
fantastic
third
piece of
now?
Pizza, $2.
$2.
$2. Do you know, what was is it cashew nuts or pistachio nuts, Chaz? Can you just say? I think Costco are the largest buyer of cashew nuts in the world.
That doesn't surprise me.
You just check that.
Did we already have this conversation?
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah, on the pod.
Yeah, it's not an official thing, but it makes sense if it
Unofficially.
is. Yeah.
Unofficially.
No one's counted, I don't think.
Oh, they take ages.
I can't find anything about Costco selling the second
If you go
most
on
amount
my
of pizza.
anyway, so what that's what I
Take it from us.
take it from us. Yahoo Finance.
Someone on YouTube said it, and he Googled it one time and
But
found it on Yahoo, which
mean,
you'll pay $1,500 to
it
get
is
an article printed by Yahoo.
The point of the matter is, if you do go and spend some Googling time, just for Costco, with only 600 stores in America, I think we said it's 2,000 stores in the world. Their volume,
It's unbelievable.
I mean,
isn't it?
I just go down rabbit holes checking them out. I just can't believe it. I still can't believe. Those of you that I've made a YouTube video on my main channel about Costco, and it's well worth going to have a watch if you're new here.
It's a good video, that.
Costco is bigger than Disney and Nike combined.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the own brand stuff at Costco, which is their Kirkland brand, is bigger than Nike.
That's mad, isn't it?
I mean, as I say it, like, I'm asking Chance to back me up there. I did get that right, didn't I?
I'm still on the Costco pizza
Yeah.
thing.
It's just unbelievable.
Kirkland, I remember the first time I ever went to, I'd never heard of Costco when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Is it a new thing here? Did it come out? Was it like a new thing here?
I went there when I was a 5-year-old with my parents.
Did you?
It's a very old company.
I'd never heard of it in the UK until my friend took me, and he was American, and they loved it because it's from America. And I won't do my American accent because I was getting slagged off on YouTube this week for my American accent.
From who?
From someone who listens.
What, to this?
Yeah.
No, but people love your
No,
accents.
but it was brilliant, to be fair. It's like, why is James Burt doing the impression of a Swedish guy on Saturday Night Live as his American accent? And I was like, what? And I clicked it. I was like, oh, actually, that's a very accurate comment, to be fair. But yeah, we went there, and for like £2, you could get 24 double choc chip Kirkland cookies.
Yeah.
Literally, I thought it was the best thing I'd ever tasted in my damn life.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Oh my good God, they're unbelievable, aren't they?
Go and check out the video if you want to find out more about Costco. But should we get on, Matt?
Yes, let's.
What about JB?
Oh
what
yeah,
about yours?
I've got a quote.
Go on then, quote
Which
it.
you won't like. Oh, that's rubbish. You've said it before. In a world where you can improve anything, the best thing to improve is yourself.
Boring!
Shut up. There you go. Just because you've got one thing off that you can't even validate off multiple sources, it's actually correct. You look very smart in that outfit today, by the way.
What was it? Just
Are
give
you-
me your quote one more time.
because
is it in a world where you can be amazing? Was that what it
No,
was?
I can't even
What's
remember.
going on with your ears? You didn't say anything like that.
No, what was it?
Do you know why?
It was so
Do you know-
rubbish, I didn't listen.
Do you know why he's got issues with his ears though? Because after this, because he's got so many staff now, cash flow's tight. He's obviously driving a train later. It looks like he doesn't know he's going to go and drive a train, isn't he? Imagine if you're on a train and James Sinclair's voice comes on. The tannoy.
But then again, you could be wearing your nan's blouse.
This is the
Look at his little
this is
rusty
the 537 fast service to Southend, stopping at Rossi Ice Cream, Marsh Farm, a bunch of other stuff that I own the rights to. Right, should we get Matthew on the pod?
No, what was it? What
Dr.
was your
Matthew.
quote? Just tell us your quote again.
In a world where you could be, if you can improve anything, improve yourself.
That's it. Okay.
You like that?
Yeah.
No, you don't. Whatever. Right, should we get Doctor? We've
Yeah,
got
let's
a
get him
doctor
on.
on. Can we be
Let's get him
serious,
on.
please?
Yeah.
It's intelligent people waiting for this nonsense. Dr. Matthew, I'm so sorry about James Sinclair. I apologise on his behalf. How are you, sir?
Hi guys. Hi. Hi. Nice to meet you. Yes. Hi. Hi James. Hi JB. Well, yeah. All's good. Thank
Awesome
you.
stuff. Could you give us the little synopsis summary of the business? Obviously, we've talked about it very lightly there, but just give us the origin story. How did you get into this space?
Okay. So yes, actually, I'm a vet. I'm from the UK. After working in the UK for 5 years, I moved over to Hong Kong, and then actually, first of all, I started my veterinary house call service, but then I bought an existing business, which was Ferndale, which was already operating, because I was working together closely with the people, and then they retired, and so I took over the pet shipping company from them, and
How long ago was that?
that was about 7 or 8 years ago.
What did you pay
Yes.
for it? And was you scared at the moment that you paid for it?
Yeah, I paid about
And
£200,000,
was you? And how
and
old was you then?
well, I'm 49 now, so I guess I was slightly over 40. So
Did it feel like a big
yes,
risk?
I
or-
was. It didn't feel too much like a big risk, just because I'd been working very closely with them, and I knew that they synced very well with the client base I had when I was doing like veterinary house calls, and but sure, it's a lot of money at the time. Is scary.
And
Yes.
how did you gather the pennies together to find 200,000? Was it savings or borrowed? What did you do?
Well, I think part of it was an inheritance from when my grandfather passed away. So yeah, that was probably it, and also some savings.
Do you know, the reason I bring this up, I remembered the other day I had a conversation that I had with a younger me. I was buying something. It was 2 million quid. I was 27 years old, and I bought some investors out of one of our companies. And I remember my old bank manager for Dave Oram from Barclays says, such a lot of money. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And he said, in 5 years' time, you won't think it's a lot of money. Just get it done. And then he retired. I mean, he should never have said that.
I was about to say.
It's not a bank manager.
No, it's
He
not.
sort of said it off the record.
It's like a fatherly sort of like pep talk rather than a
And
bank
he's
manager.
absolutely right. I mean, you probably know the one I'm going to ask you now, Matt. Now you look on 7 years, you probably don't think 200,000 is a lot of money compared to 7 years ago. Do you have that sort of feeling?
Sure, it's not a lot of money in retrospect. Yes.
At the time.
And yeah, I mean, at the time it's huge, but I mean, if you had that amount of money now, I mean, what would you get? If you owned a property, you'd get such a terrible, return on, how much would you get every month on rent? So it's yeah, sure. It seemed like an incredibly large amount of money at the
It's
time.
funny, isn't it, how we move on and what inflation does every 5 years. It's mad. Cool. I just wanted to ask that. I thought it was, I think it's good for listeners to hear that, because I think a lot of people come to us and they're at many crossroads in their journey, and I think sometimes it's good to hear those little stories.
Definitely. You said in your notes, and maybe I misread it, but are you running this part-time because you're also in another vet business?
Well, I mean, essentially, yes. So I opened my house call service, which is a vet house call service. So I drive around. I've actually got someone who ferries me around driving, because initially I did start driving myself. I drive all the time, but then after about a year or two, and lots of parking tickets, lots of speeding tickets, and basically my eyes going dry from staring at the screen too much, I got a driver, and so now I'm driven around. But so yes, I do house calls. Actually, I'm a vet doing house calls like 4 days a week, and so this is kind of and the vet business is a little bit like a like, it's kind of like it's not so much a business. It's like what I kind of do. Is more like a job. The Ferndale is a business, and we have a whole management, like a whole team of people doing the work. I'm more of a problem solver and a business owner rather than involved terribly in a day to day. Yeah. But so they're a little bit integrated. The numbers I gave you actually kind of include everything.
Can I just ask though, why, if the pet travel business is the lion's share of the revenue, why do you not just focus on that and build that up more with your brain, or is the pet thing, the vet thing, a calling?
Well, partly like the travel business. The travel business, the margins, the net margin is only like, 5% or 7%, because a lot of the expenses is the airline ticket, and so there's or paying the other party in the destination to go to the airport and receive it. There's another agent involved, so the margin is quite low, and also partly because actually we use veterinary services a lot, because every day I as a vet or a vet goes and does a health certificate or a blood test relating to pet travel.
Fine.
So it's a little bit like a vertical integration. They are connected. And also I just actually still really enjoy being a vet and being outside, or not just at a computer 7 days a week or 5 days a week.
And you're mainly just going around Hong Kong?
Yes, so I'm going around Hong Kong doing house calls, which are either health, either they're related to travel, or they're just, or they're not related to travel. It's maybe 50-50, or more, maybe 30% are health related to pet travel.
And people having pets in Hong Kong is a big bit. It's culturally similar to the UK, is it?
Yeah, so I mean, probably when you visited, you maybe don't see
No,
them
I
because
don't.
they're just kept in the air-conditioned flats. But then they'll take them out on, people will go out on the weekend with them, or the evening. So where you stay in a hotel, or where you go shopping or out for dinner might not be the same places where you'll see the pets.
Okay.
But pets are popular.
Well, let's crack on with the challenges. Come on then, JB.
Yeah, right. So you said that biggest challenge was pet shipping and boarding profit first half of the year, last 6 months of the year, and suggestions to balance stuff out. I got.
Okay, what I meant is is the last 6 months of the year, there's no profit. All the profit is in the first 6 months of the year.
Why's that?
Because people pay like a deposit for their move before they travel, or and half of the work is all people flying in the summertime.
Oh, so all the pets travel at the same time?
Yeah, a lot of people relocate for work or for university, for schools in the summertime.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that you're talking about when the cash comes in rather than the profit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Well, what you need to do is, as your cash comes in, put it on the balance sheet and then put it into the profit and loss for when the service is delivered. So you really, the issue is the cash flow is loaded to the front 6 months a year, and there's no cash flow in the middle towards and the end of the year. Is that more of an accurate?
Yes, that's more accurate, actually. Yes. Yeah, that's more accurate, I guess. Yes.
So are you producing monthly profit and loss, or do you just manage the business by what's in the bank account?
We do management accounts. We do management accounts. They can be running a little bit late, but yeah, we do management accounts. But yes, we do them in the kind of traditional kind of cash basis. So hence I see that the on a kind of cash basis, there's the profitable in the first half and not the second half. But yes, perhaps it's not a fair interpretation.
Well, I think if that is the way the business is, I'm always looking to solve those peaks and troughs in our businesses, but if that's the way everyone does it, everyone wants turkey at Christmas, very hard to sell it in June. And you might have to then say, right, well, I've got all this talent around me. Let's create another revenue stream, another business where I can use the people, the talent, the infrastructure, the brand, and create a third revenue stream. So you have the vets, you have the travel care, and then something else that's at the other point in the year. And that's what I've been doing throughout my whole career. I mean, I can't give you exactly what that is, without knowing you or knowing the sector, but that's what I'd be doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
and there is always an answer to that.
Are you already doing that to a certain extent, Matt, with the boarding? Because I can see on your website that you've got boarding kennels. So there's
yes, yeah, a little bit, but the problem is the boarding is the same, as in the boarding is incredibly heavily weighted to when people go on holiday, which often tends to be the summer. So it's a little bit similar. So, but perhaps we should we've tried to do some promotions to attract people for boarding when it's off peak, but of course people like to go on holiday when there's kind of public holidays or when other people go on holiday. So,
but let me give you a real cast iron example. I've got an ice cream parlor, an ice cream business. We sell most of our ice cream in the summer.
It'll be doing well today, won't it?
Yeah, it'll be doing well today as we sit here in the United Kingdom when the current bun is shining. There is nothing I can do to get our ice cream sales up in November, December, January, February. I mean, I could do some material stuff. So what we did is we set up a bakery where people want to buy and carb load over the winter period. And then we set up a food services business that sells other food services, and it just all works in an ecosystem. That's the answer to solve the conundrum of the seasonal business. And I think it works.
Okay. Right.
But
right.
You've told me people want their travel in that certain part of the year. You've got you discount it down. You probably get the same amount of people that do want to rarely travel in November and December, and you're just losing margin. The answer is get another revenue stream in that folds in, but maybe different.
Right. Okay. I'll give it some thought. I mean, our vet service in a way is like that, because our vet service isn't seasonal, and so it has that benefit.
Absolutely. What's second challenge?
Are you inundated with work through the vet services? Like, if you had another vet like you, could you fill their diary as well?
It just depends. So it just depends. This month is a little bit quiet, so it would be hard to have to have another full-time vet. But yeah, small businesses, you're either too busy or you're too quiet. So
well, it doesn't have to be like that. What are you doing to market how much you spend on Google Ads and stuff like that, or whatever the equivalent is in Hong Kong?
Yeah, so we do Google Ads, yes. Yep. So I could spend some more natural.
I mean, thinking of lifetime, but if you look at great businesses, you have lifetime value. Once people have got their vet, they trust their vet, and that's the vet they always go to. And so sometimes the danger of Google Ads is we spent 50 quid and we only got £150 back. But if you've got a lifetime value and you spend 50 quid and then over their lifetime, that customer spends 3-4 grand with you, that's the cheapest 50 quid you'll ever spend. And so if I had a vet business, I would be fluctuating my Google Ads to a really good lead page, depending on how busy I am. So when we're busy, you dumb down the ads, you just keep it tipping along a little bit. But when we're quiet, you can literally turn them on. I just, if you've got high average order value, which, I mean, I know because I've been to the vet, so I've got 2 dogs, 2 guinea pigs and 2 cats. It's never a cheap day out.
Yeah, I see your point. Yeah,
I went to the vets once.
Here we go. Rubbish joking.
I went to the vets once, and I took my dog in.
Right.
And the vet picked the dog up, and he said, "I'm going to have to put him down." I said, "No, why?" He said, "My arms are really aching." Sorry, Matt. I'm sure you've heard that.
Absolute child. Absolute.
Yeah, we could tell it. We could tell it was coming.
Yeah,
Right?
smell it a mile off. Right, let's get on to the second challenge. Scaling operations without compromising service quality. Low profit done for you model without add-ons or productized offers. Each client takes a lot of manual work and the service is high value but low leverage. Once the job's done, that's it. Talk us through a bit more of the challenge there, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I managed to use long words and make it a bit complicated, but so that sentence was a bit of a mess. But yes, it's just the fact that most of these moves, they're just like a one-off. They're a one-off move. So every month there's a feeling for pet travel or pet shipping. We have to start again. It's the leads coming in, and then satisfying. Helping the client to move the pet, ensuring the quality and the communication is done to the best standard, but then they've moved to the other country. That's it. So it's a one-off thing. So and it's it involves quite a lot of touch points of customer service and human interaction. So it's a little bit hard to repeat and scale. So just if there's some way we can add some upsell or scale things in some way.
I mean, if I was this, I'd be buying a pet food business. Buy one that's existing, because if your vet tells you need something, you buy it, don't you?
Mm.
I mean, there must be there's some independent pet food businesses, and we've had some on the pod, like the shampoo person. Even if you just white labeled it, that'd be a great way of regularizing cash flow as well. Have you thought about any of that stuff?
Right. Well, I've thought about some pet travel products like a travel crates or travel blankets. I haven't really thought about pet food just because I guess you need to have massive order volume.
I don't think you do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think £10,000 or dollars you could get going. Here's the thing about you doing pet food, cases, blankets and stuff, like people don't need to buy it once. The great thing about pet food, the great thing about pet shampoo and stuff like that is once you've got the customer, they repeat. They never remember where they bought their blanket from or their pet bed or something like that because it's a one purchase. That's what's so great about those types of businesses. They just keep on going and going and going. I mean, we always speak about, Mars are the biggest vet practice in the world with so many pet food brands around them because they know it works symbiotically.
Right. Yes. I hadn't thought. Yeah, you're completely right that yes, if I make the most perfect fluffy blanket in the world for the travel crate, it's just a one-off sale. So because the people don't want to move again. It's because they've moved to their place and they've retired or they've got their new job. So I see what I mean.
See, the best business
better to
models,
invest in something
that's
recurring.
right. The best business models I've ever come across is where people need to buy from you 4 times in quick succession. That's whether you're making a podcast, you need to launch 4 in one go. So if people listen to the first one and go, this is great, listen to number 2, listen to number 3, listen to number 4, right, I'm in. Supermarkets, they're finding ways of getting you to return to the shop 4 times in quick succession so you become a habit. And that's the same as any other business. The consistency, the habits being created are what generates the profit, because it's very difficult in my opinion to make profit on the first sale. Usually it takes a few sales to become very profitable. And so that's my views, and it's a lot less stressful having a business where people need to regularly buy from you.
Okay.
Some food for thought there.
Okay, thanks
Some
for
food
that.
for thought. Right, third biggest challenge. We'll rattle through this one. How not to be squashed in 5 years by tech platforms developing AI tools or VC companies with big pockets. That's not going to happen to you guys, is it? Because surely it's a people business, isn't it? Fundamentally.
Yes, it is. But in another way, just like Mars is, taking over all of the vet clinics, potentially the potentially this industry is also ripe for consolidation and for some for some company coming in with lots of money and expanding.
And they might buy you.
By you, yeah.
Well, possibly, but I mean, I also am not really looking to sell at this stage. So
Why? You should always be building to sell, even if you have no intention of selling it. And I don't believe that. If someone comes and knocks on your door and says, "Hey, I've got £5 million in a bank account for you here. Do you want to carry on, or would you like my £5 million?" That's going to play on your mind, baby.
yes, but also, what do you then do with that £5 million? So
Start again.
Yeah, you can start again. Yes, yeah.
You have a year off.
Yeah.
Maybe you go and buy a few investment properties. You wait for your non-compete clause to finish and then start again, baby.
Okay.
I love how that's your mind
You have a
works
point,
straight
yes.
away. Most people are like, yeah, I'm going to kick back. I'm going to go to the beach. Just sit and wait. You'd be sitting there, wouldn't you? Like carrying
I would
down,
do something.
like prison wall.
Yeah.
Like 363 days to go. 362 days to go. I'm back in the game, baby.
But we have an existing business which actually now has been running for 30 years, even though I've only been the one running it for 7 or 8 years. So, the to start again is also you don't have the brand. So
No, but you have
it's,
£5 million in that scenario.
You can buy the brand.
Yeah.
You can buy a brand quick with 5 million.
okay.
I mean,
Not everyone's cup of tea, though. Not everyone's cup of tea.
No. But most people that I meet that have sold a business that have cashed in, they never say that was a really bad decision of mine.
Facilitates everything else, lubricates the wheels of life.
Because you can just.
But I've not seen you selling any businesses recently. You seem to be buying them more than selling. So
Well, yeah.
Yes,
but-
Sinclair.
Yeah,
Shove that in your cheese
that
sandwich.
is very true. That is very true. But if the right thing came along, I would do it.
I'm going to do a hostile takeover. I'm going to take over give the people what they want.
No, and you're very true, Matt. I'm not a very good seller, but I'm quite a good accumulator. That is for true.
Right, let's jump into the questions that you sent across, Matt. So questions that you'd like to ask Jim. You said that your first question was, what are the top 3 systems or processes that have had the biggest impact on scaling the business while maintaining profitability?
Buying companies.
Great. Question number 2. If you were in my position running a pet travel business with a solid team and organic leads, what would be your first 3 steps to significantly increase revenue and profit?
Google Ads, and I'd go to 3 agencies, come up with a referral program. I'd make sure that I connect with all the airlines to make sure that you're their recommended choice partner and give them a kickback. Do you do that?
Not really. No. So we target the clinics a lot. We try to have a good relationship with vet clinics, and but yeah, we don't really go to the airlines. So that's an idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure that if you went to, let's just say, British Airways, and they said, if you want your dogs to fly on our planes or your cats to fly on our plane, I'm just making this up. If you could have a situation where you have a contract with them where they only use you, God almighty, I mean, that would be so powerful for exit value as well. A lot of people will be listening and, well, that might not exist. Well, yeah, do you know, unless you try. Contracts are really, really valuable like that because you can borrow off of them. Banks love it. I just done with our bank to get a funding line for our importing business. We send our contracts over with what we have with other companies to supply them. I mean, it just makes everyone feel warm and cuddly inside. It really does.
Yeah. Does that enable you to do deals they wouldn't otherwise touch?
Yeah, I think if you've, I mean, look, we supply centre parts and we got 3 or 5 year contract with them, you don't even have to be a credit bank manager, do you? If I said to you, I've got a 5-year contract with centre parts to supply to them, £1 million a year worth of stuff, you're probably going to value that more than looking at a set of a P&L that shows really good numbers. That's key person driven, that there's a person making that happen. The contract becomes more cuddly. So yeah, contracts are really powerful, and look, the rule is you're building a business to sell, even if you have no intention of selling it. So putting contracts in place and solidifying, giving you concrete foundations, are all the things that we need to be working on.
I reckon also, Matt, if you got your Google ads right, that would change the direction of this business. Because I bet at the moment the Google ads are probably pointing to this website, and even if I look at the website, if I just click on destinations, for example, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 times 3 was that 45. So there's 45 escape hatches there straight away. You've got to have a really strong landing page that has one call to action and gets people's information, so you can retarget and remarket to them. I bet if you're doing it in house, or if you've got an agency doing it, it's not going to a landing page. But if you did, I reckon you would infinitely have more leads coming into the business.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's room to improve on the Google ads for sure.
Sometimes,
yeah, and the point about the contract is brilliant as well. Yeah, I take that.
Sometimes as well, look, I'm not a fan of everyone outsourcing their marketing to marketing agencies, because I think if you're not doing your marketing in house, you're not doing it enough. What I like about marketing agencies, though, is use them as like a watchdog, an auditing tool over what your internal marketing is doing, because they'll give you some good critique if they're working with other businesses, saying, "Oh, this is really working with them, and you should use this." And that's what I think is a better use of them.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, I've kind of got sick of some of the marketing agencies, because some of them just seem to set up these new I can't remember what it's called. It's like this new AI type of Google ad where it's all a little bit automated, and then you kind of wonder, how much are they really doing?
Yeah, but the Google ads are one part of it, but picking up the phone and networking and business development. I think about my 10 biggest customers that I've got in my business, or the 10 best leads recently. None of them have come from Google ads. Actually, the 3 biggest customers we've got come from doing exhibitions. Still good old-fashioned exhibitions.
Yeah.
So or picking up the phone, knocking on doors. That will probably change one day as technology just gets better and better. But that stuff's still out there. Yeah,
it will still always work, though, won't it? That
hopefully,
especially for something like what you do, like go to the exhibition and speak on the stage, and don't just go to the event, like become the event.
Yeah, I mean, I think content marketing is the best way of making content. If you do that consistently enough, that really does drive great revenues in.
The third question I really liked, third and finally, what are my blind spots? We've never been asked this before. What are my blind spots?
So I was meaning, like, what can I not see, because I'm the guy who's I'm stuck there running my own business. So just looking from outside, I was just wondering. Yes,
I mean,
an alternative perspective.
Listening to you, one of the biggest failures possibly is that you're not implementing E plus M equals S. That's the thing I always talk about: entrepreneurship plus management equals success. I do think you're doing both roles. I think you're managing the business and leading the business. You're growing the business and operating the business. And I might be wrong, but that sounds like, what you're doing, and therefore you'll never get to where you want to get to if you do both roles.
Mm-hmm.
If you spend 80% of your time growing the business, picking up the phone, networking, working with airlines, literally bringing in cash flow, then 20% of your time operating it. And it probably sounds like to me, you're doing 80% being a vet, delivering a service, and 20% when you've got time growing it. And if you can flip that around, literally verbatim, people are more successful.
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Is that yes? I am doing that.
You can tell from the exasperation.
So for shipping, for a pet travel, I have a manager in Hong Kong. I have a manager in Singapore. So they're kind of doing the management work. But certainly, yes. I mean, for myself, in reality, 80% of my time, I'm just kind of operating as a as a veterinarian rather than as a
But
business
Matt,
owner.
can I just
So,
that's
yeah.
most businesses. That's most business
Yeah.
owners.
Yep.
I want you to, it's not right. That's usually the ones that I come across that have done super successful growth and stuff. They just work in sales. They're literally
Yeah.
a business marketing, sales development person full time,
Yes. Yeah.
bringing in opportunities to the business.
Yeah.
And I think JB knows lots of business
Okay.
owners. You just meet them once.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're bringing in cash, which is, not for everyone.
No.
But that is what they do. I mean, you think about the things that you've done that's been the most valuable hours in your business so far. It was probably 7 years ago when you bought this business. The 100 hours that you put in to buy that business have generated you serious wealth. And if you just put all your hours doing more stuff like that, where would you be?
Yes, it's true. Yes. Yes. And just making the decision to open the branch in Singapore, yes, it's a fraction of my time compared to actually doing my operational work. Yeah.
Just quickly, I think it'd be interesting for listeners and certainly for me. How do you find running so you've lived in the UK, you live in Hong Kong. I think you've lived in other parts of the world. If you're an entrepreneur and business owner, do you think it's easier setting up a business in Hong Kong or in the United Kingdom?
Well, I've never set up a business in the UK, so
No,
I don't
let me reframe
know.
that then. So if you had to start, so if I said to you, you have to set up a business either in UK or Hong Kong or Australia, where would you go?
I think a lot of it depends on your hunger, your drive, your energy. So I don't think nothing's really going to, if you want to do it, nothing's going to stop you
I
wherever.
agree with that.
But Hong Kong and Singapore they make it very easy and I've heard Dubai apparently, they make it very easy for entrepreneurs to do these things.
And just lastly, if you make a profit in Hong Kong, what is their corporation tax?
There's 16% corporation tax, although it's 8% on the first £200,000 profit.
Wow, that's an incentive. And what about if Matt personally pays himself £100,000? What sort of rate tax are you going to pay on that?
Well, if it's a salary, then you have to pay about 16%
1/6
tax. 1/6, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for salary.
Get our tickets,
But
Sinclair.
if it's dividend, there's no tax on dividends.
Right.
I mean, so that must be a big disincentive for you to ever move back to the UK.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Wow. And it's even lower in Singapore, isn't it?
I think it's about the same, pretty similar.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's get our tickets booked, Sinclair.
Well, can you do me a big favour, Matt? I know that you are joining Camp Beaumont in Hong Kong.
It's not in Hong Kong. It's in the UK. Actually, I'm sending my kids to UK for a couple of weeks in the summer, so they're going to go to one in London.
Well, when they're back in Hong Kong, check us out in Hong Kong. We've got a big business in Hong Kong in Camp Beaumont.
Great, yeah, I'd like to.
So
Yeah,
it's campbeaumontasia.com. Just a little plug there.
Wow, he's getting an advert in. Before we let you go, Dr. Matthew, official title.
And if you move to Singapore, we're also in
Jesus
Singapore
Christ.
as well.
Right, let's talk about his business. Where can people find out information if they'd like to move one of their beloved pets
It's
around
at
the world?
campbeaumontpetmoval.com.
You can go to www.ferndale, which is FERNDALE, pet.com.
FerndalePet.com. Brilliant. Thank you ever so much for your time. Thank you for coming on the show. And
Really
we wish
nice
you well
to talk
on
to
your
you, Matt.
entrepreneurial ventures. Good luck with everything.
Yes. Thank you so much. If you're ever in Hong Kong or in Singapore, then look me up.
Look at me. When I'm on Instagram, I always put when I'm in Hong Kong. Can you just drop me a message? I'd love to meet for a coffee.
Excellent.
There you
Will
go.
do.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Matthew.
I'll be
Take
there
care.
in September, by the way.
Oh, there you go. Well, there you go. Matthew, Dr. Matthew, all the way from
Why
Ferndale.
do dogs sit in the shade?
Here we go. I don't know, James.
Because I don't want to be a hot dog.
It's good. It's good. Well done, you. How long have you been sat on that one for?
Yeah.
How many of those stupid jokes do you reckon you've got stored up in your cranium that you could just drop at any given second?
I don't
It
know.
must be tens of thousands, must
It
it?
just
'Cause
comes
any situation, you've got a crap pun just there, haven't you? Like that.
The best ones are things like I'm feeling rough. You know, they are the best ones.
You
aren't
can't
they?
beat it. It's an oldie but a goodie. Right, let's do the 8 traits of the greats.
Let's do it, baby.
Have we got our board? Oh, come on.
It might be in my car. I don't think so, but we'll come back to the next one.
He could go, look, he's not going to.
It's too late now, isn't it?
It is too late now. So it's the point of the show where James Sinclair ferociously, not just quickly, ferociously searches through his phone. He goes into search items. He goes, traits.
Well, you must be able to remember.
He must
that,
remember traits.
Oh, I like the board. Oh, I really like that board because we've got the song at the end.
Oh, we're not doing the song. We're going to have to ban the song. It's so bad.
No, I like the song.
If you listen back
I'll
to
sing
it,
it on my
never.
own.
Fine, you will have to. Right, go on then. Right, what's the first one?
Starting with the end in mind.
Ooh. No, he said, I'm not building it to sell. I'm not ready for
Passionate
it.
about his cause.
Oh, he loves it. He loves a pet or two.
Untold amounts of resilience.
I think if you live in multiple countries, set up businesses in different places, you've got to have a bit. I think we can give him that one, can't we?
Do you think?
Do you not think so?
I'm not. Yeah.
Well, blimey, your
Innovate
show.
or evaporate. I think we can give him.
Yeah.
There's elements of that.
A half. Should we give half of the previous
Yeah.
one, half of this one? That gives him one whole one.
Well, all right, but I was also going to give him half for commercial awareness
Regular listener and watcher James Martin is going to be furious. All these halves.
because he said, "Oh, I'm a bit late on the bit late
The
on
management
the
accounts. Yeah, you're right. He can have a half of that. We can
But
work
it's not
out.
zero.
It's not a zero.
because he did know. He does know his numbers. Relationship with people, prefers animals. But we give him a 1. He's a
He
master
got an
marketeer.
offer of a coffee with you. That never happens. Everyone would be at home and be like, "Oh my god!"
No.
I've sat at Rossi every Sunday hoping that he would look at me, but he doesn't. He's there ferociously typing his letter, shoving a bacon sandwich in his face, having an ice cream after.
Master marketeer.
No.
Staying teachable. Yeah.
Yeah, go on. What's he got?
What we got? 1,
Tot it up,
2,
baby.
3, 4. 4. It's a knock on the door.
It's a knock at the door.
The dog's going ruff, ruff, ruff. There's someone at the door.
He's done very well. 4. That's respectable. In the
My
words
postman said, "Your dog keeps on barking at me."
No,
I
did
said,
he?
Don't worry about it. Just kick his balls." So the next morning, he kicked his ball, and this dog was doing somersaults all around the garden. I said, "What have you done?" He said, "No." I said, "Don't kick them balls. Kick his ball that you throw."
Oh dear. Right.
It's getting bad, isn't it?
Before we wrap up, getting bad. It's been bad for a long time. Thanks, Chuds. It's time for this.
Jim versus JP on
The quiz that's meant to be.
It's the business quiz.
Which one's clever and which one's dumb?
Is he
Our
with me?
team.
Let's get
Must
quizzy.
be thinking, not another pet fact I've got to
Oh
find out.
no. We're doing a lot of pet facts.
We've had a
haven't we?
lot of pets on.
We have. We
pet.
do that though. We get like a certain brand on, and then people are like, "Oh yeah, I need to talk about my business." Right, in this envelope here, gang, is a quizzical question about the subject or the sector we have just spoken about. To me, infinite idiot James Burt and the world's leading icon of British entrepreneurship, James Sinclair, go head to head in a battle. You can join in as well if you'd like to at home. Give us your quizzical guesses. Right. Oh, this is good. Oh yeah, thanks, Chuds. We've got our whiteboards.
Thank you.
Right, so here we go. Today's question is: what was the value of the global pet travel market in 2024? What was the value of the global pet travel market in 2024?
How many pets do you think are moving around the world?
Yeah, probably a very small percentage, wasn't it?
Well, I reckon it's still 50 million. Do you think?
Well, how many people are there in the world? There's 8 billion. How many people have a pet?
I've never moved a pet.
No, that's it. So I reckon it's... Have to have the jingle while I'm working it out. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm not bloody Carol Vorderman over here on Countdown. I've worked that out with my maths and everything. You know, if the teacher used to go, how did you do your workings? I've done my workings here.
Yeah, let me just.
I'm going 4.6 billion. 4.46 billion. No, I'm not. Sorry, I'm going for 2.4. Change it. 2.4.
Yeah,
my working's here.
I've gone.
I'm going 2.5.
No, I'm going 2 billion.
Are you? You're going 2 billion. I'm going 2.4 billion.
Come on
What's
then.
your rationale?
Well, I just thought, right, here we go. We've got, it's $4,000 because he told us it's $4,000
Yeah,
roughly to move a.
Roughly. It's $4,000, roughly. Okay. What else?
Then I thought, well, there's going to be 50 million pets moved around a year.
It's good.
Is that roughly what you think?
That's roughly what I got to as well. I reckon that there was
It can't be more than 50 because I actually don't know anyone. That's why I'm worried if we're overeating. How many people do you know? I've just moved my pet from Spain to. I think people would travel in the car with them and do it themselves.
Yeah, they probably would.
So it'd only be to Australia. It would only be really
UAE,
international.
America.
I know lots of people that have moved their pets with them on holiday to Europe.
I think it was. I worked on the basis of 1% of pets at $4,000.
Come on then, let's find out.
Oh yeah, I've got the thing, haven't I? I was looking around for the answer there. Right, here we go. The answer to today's critical question is: would you go for 2 billion? I went 2.4. The answer is no way. I retire undefeated. Read it.
2.4 billion.
Yes. I've never played that game ever again. I'm retiring undefeated. Done.
Breakdown: 77% is
Thank
domestics travel, 23% is relocation. North America hold the biggest market share of pet travel at 37%. The compound annual growth rate is 8.9%.
That's how I got it because I knew the compound growth rate would be
So it's
8.9%.
9% growing each year.
That's all right, isn't he? He's not barking up the wrong tree. He's in the right place.
9%
He's
growth.
digging for the right growth there.
He's part of a £2.4 billion industry that's growing at 9% a year.
What would you do if now he's not on the call? The first thing he should be doing is doing 3 days of veterinary stuff and 2 days on the business, shouldn't he?
That's what it
At the very least.
Well, yeah,
4-to-1 ratio. It's no good, is it?
No, it's good. Hey, one of the things to talk about.
Go on.
In disruption, I read that Virgin, have you heard of Virgin?
I have heard of
Or
them.
Richie B's company?
You not buying them next? That's a rumour, guys. Unsolicited rumour.
It's a complete and utter cogwash. That's what that is.
Cogwash? That's not even a thing.
But they have invested, and apparently the government are about to give permission for flying taxis to become a real thing from airports
Really?
as drones.
Is it?
So that they'll get on at Stansted and they go 200 miles an hour.
Do they?
I mean, this stuff is really starting to happen. These driverless taxis in America, they're now in Texas as well.
Oh, they're big, aren't they?
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, they are big.
The world is a-changing.
Have you seen the vertical lift-off helicopter that they are going to be using as airport taxis? You can basically for about 50 million quid. So you'll be in the market for one of these. Couple of sales later, baby, you can have a few of these. You could have vertical lift-off personal helicopters, so you could get to like City Airport from where you were in like 10 minutes. For your hopscotching around.
50 million quid each.
50 million.
It's too expensive, isn't it?
It's not, is it?
I mean,
For a personal
when
helicopter?
You consider, you can buy a big Boeing for 80 million quid.
Yeah, but you can't fly that. You could fly a helicopter, couldn't you? You could get your license in a year.
It can't
No
be
one's
50 million quid.
No one's letting you have.
It's not 50 million quid.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's. I'll have to.
50 million quid for a helicopter
Yeah.
when you can buy a proper plane.
Oh,
Like
maybe
a
I've got.
big
Maybe I've got. Maybe. I thought that was. Oh yeah.
I didn't even get that. Just wins
Oh,
the
yeah.
day. Just wins.
Hang on, what's that?
That's a pass.
Oh no, I've done so well and so badly in the suit.
As opposed to the other ones that go down.
Oh no.
Because you said it so seriously. We both No, I go for the money. I was thinking, I don't know, there is a helicopter you could buy for 50 million.
Oh God.
Or you could buy it for cheaper.
Hill.
You could buy, I'm just thinking, so an EasyJet plane that carries 220 people, you could buy for less than a helicopter that carries 2. Oh, them ones there, I've seen them.
Hill helicopters.
They're not,
These
they're
little-
like 3 million quid.
Oh, are they? Oh, you can have loads of them then. I'll have to find out more specific information. Look
Okay.
at that website though.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Oh, wow. On one hand, I'd won, and on the other hand, I'd completely lost this podcast. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode, please feel free to leave us a 5-star review wherever you download your podcasts and all that kind of good stuff. Hey, tell them about BMC. They can still come to that.
Yes, gang, if you would like to, can I have my remote control for this next section I've got to do, Chuds? If you would like to come along to Business Masterclass, I'm running a big 2-day event in London. If you want to find out how to raise finance, buy companies, get your business more profitable and ready for scale, then that's what Business Masterclass is around. Now, here's the good news. We've got some amazing entrepreneurs and business owners in the room, hundreds of business owners in the big smoke coming together that are serious about growth. This is not like some business breakfast networking thing. Oh, no, siree. This is the real stuff to help business owners grow their business. So I'd love to see you there. Tickets are a few £100 and you can buy them on my website, jamessinclair.net. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. Make sure you subscribe and like and do all that good stuff, and I'll see you when you're older. If you love the business broadcast, why not come on the show? We're looking for business owners that have got challenges. 3, in fact. And if you're challenged and you would like some help and get your business exposed to the hundreds of thousands of people that view and listen to this show, we'd love to have you on. Get to my website, jamessinclair.net, click on the podcast button and fill in the application form. Tell us about your challenges. And if you're challenged enough and ambitious to grow and you want some help, we'd love to have you on the show.